Hi everyone, welcome to another session on Hot Seat with Jar of Words. We have a very special guest, as usual. And in a moment, I'm going to ask her to introduce herself. Hello, Fereshteh. Welcome to Jar of Words Hot Seat. I'm really grateful for you taking time out of your busy schedule to be our guest. Thank you very much for being here. Would you like
Thank you for having me.
Would you like to start by introducing yourself?
My name is Fereshteh Mozaffari, and I am a writer and theatre maker based in Manchester.
Fantastic. I think we first met through Cannes Community Art Northwest, one of their activities, if I'm right. Am I right?
Yeah, I think I came to your book launch years before that, and then we met there. And then I think we just had a say hello in a little bit of conversation in passing, and then properly met and worked together 2016, 17.
Something like that. Oh, wow. So we met even before than what I thought. Okay, right. You're very busy these days with organizing activities, cultural art activities with Sheba Arts. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
These days I'm actually resting because it's a New Year holiday. It's the only time like that I can have a few quiet days. But I've been running Sheba Arts for the 3-4 years, and very, very busy doing a lot of stuff, workshops, festivals, and theatre productions, and a lot of work that we did across Greater Manchester.
Yeah, I attended some of your events. You recently had a festival. Was it in September, October, I think? And it was well attended, very a range of different activities for all ages. That's what I like, when everyone, independent of your ability, your age, you can just join in and enjoy. That's fantastic. So well done for all you do, and get some rest. You deserve that after a very busy schedule. Okay, I will be sharing the detail of Sheba Arts and your other social media channels with listeners, so people who want to find out more about your activities, or if they want to get involved with what you do, they can get in touch with you. So thank you for that. Right, we are here and we want to talk about a little bit with Fereshteh herself. I know, as a person who's actively involved in planning and organizing and running art activities on great scale, you're used to problem solving. But let us see what helps you in your day-to-day life. When there is difficulties, how would you manage getting over difficult times in your life? What helps you?
You mean lockdown?
It can be lockdowns, anything. You know, we all, as humans, we all have times that nothing go according to plan, whether it's lockdown or whether it's pre-lockdown. I don't know what the future holds. I'm hoping that there will be a stage when we are past this lockdown stage. But, you know, even day-to-day life these days are very difficult. And tell us a little bit as well about lockdown as well, because that would be interesting to see what you do.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, lockdown has been really, has been good and bad, both. But the difficulties, life, as you said, is not, doesn't go as planned. So we have our dreams and we have our plans and targets to meet and everything, but life has its own plan. So I used to be really holding on to, you know, whatever that I'm going to do, I'm going to make this, and I would fight, and I would I would fight with time and with life, because this is what I want. But then I learned that through a lot of things that happened to me in the past decade, coming to the UK and going through a lot of things, I learned that, you know, you have to trust a power that is beyond you and is bigger than you and is more intelligent than you are. And then when you surrender yourself, then you will stop fighting and you'll stop, you're still resilient, but you stop fighting and you accept that this is maybe flexibility. Then I learned that I could, let's go with this one, see how, you know, how it works. And then now, obviously life throws a lot of obstacles at you. A lot of, especially life in exile is not an easy life. You have to work as double as hard as anybody else. And then learning a language, learning a culture, learning the nuances of the culture and communication and everything. So I think there was times that I was like, you know, I felt like I couldn't continue, and I just, then, you know, life gives you motivations. Life creates things for you. It shows you a shiny horizon sometimes, and then you pick yourself up and you carry on, and then you fall again, and then you pick yourself up again. And I think that I learned that no situation is permanent, and if I'm at the bottom of something, society or whatever, it's not perpetual, and it will change. And I think having that hope, because we lived through war and we lived through a lot of stuff growing up, and then I think that I learned a lot of coping mechanism, and I learned a lot of things about life that has helped me survive on my own in exile.
After building a life, you have to destroy everything and go back to the point zero and start again, and with all the hurdle and difficulties that come with it, it's difficult to just get on with your normal life. So well done to everyone who's been through this process and has come at the other end. And one thing that you mentioned that I think I used to do with fighting. I used to fight so hard for what I wanted to achieve and where I wanted to be. It was a case of taking a step forward and then being pushed back 5 steps back, and then you had to, you know, stand up again, pick yourself up again, and start in the journey. But as you said, there are other plans beyond our abilities and our wish and our aim, basically. Not that we don't need to have an aim in life, but flexibility, I think, was the word that you use, and it's something that we all need to do. So well done, you've come a long way. We all have, I must say, but to be able to not only survive but to achieve and help others to get through a difficult time is a very any particular vision helps you.
I don't know if I'm not good at listening to advices, and I don't advise people unless they really are ready for it, or I feel like, you know, would help somebody with a particular advice. But I grew up in a difficult time, and I was raised by my grandmother, and she was a strong woman. She's my role model. She told me, she taught us a lot of things. Like she was from the village, and we would never buy bread or, you know, a lot of things. We had a small farm, and then we had a lot of products that we made ourselves, and she would teach me to knead rugs and a lot of other things that she would make to make money. And then one time I said, I was going to school, and sometimes I would help her, and I said to her once, why are you asking me to do so much work? She never asked, actually. I would join voluntarily, because I just felt sorry for her, that she's old and, you know, she has to work. And then one time I said, can you not stop working because you're ill and you're coughing? What is the point of learning all of this? Because everything is now machine made and everything, people are, getting everything easy. And she said, it doesn't matter, learn different skills, learn different books. Don't do them, but learn them. Then there would come a time when you are desperate and you can't do the job that you're doing, then you can switch to another skills that you have. And I guess that stuck with me. And so when I was in Iran, I was a teacher first, then I became a journalist. I worked as a professional journalist for 10 years. And when I came here to the UK to do my PhD in politics, so now I'm a different person. And there was a time that I couldn't continue my job, and I had to stay, do nothing for a bit, and then I start learning new skills, and I start learning different things online, and just kind of build up on my skills. And then at the same time that I was going through this journey of metamorphosis, from the person that I was to the new person that I am now, I just use that kind of advice as a guideline, and I just decided that if I'm gonna survive in this country, I have to learn how to go about things, because it's different. Work here is tough, and people have to learn a lot of different things. So it's everybody's kind of multitask. So I learned a lot of different things. And then when I came to Manchester in 2015, I started doing it, and I did a lot of volunteer work between 2011 to 2017. I did a lot of volunteer work with different organizations like Red Cross and Oxfam, Rainbow Haven. A lot of work that I did as researcher, as interpreter, as caseworker. And I think I built my people skills, because I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at dealing with people. My job was like, sitting behind my desk, and I was on my own boss. But then suddenly you have to learn a lot of things about people. You have to interact with them. You have to learn the language, accents, and all of that. And I think so I put myself through that, even it was very difficult, but then I decided that this is the way to go. And then, because I see a lot of people just sitting at home and scared of, going out and communicating and learning things. And I think that fear stops you from pushing your limits. And I decided that I want to just go out, and I want to learn everything, and I want to become somebody, because suddenly when you move from one place to another place, suddenly you become nobody. And I was nobody for a couple of years. And then I thought, I'm going to build it again and start everything all over again, which I did. And it's hard, but I think we all have something that we get hold of, or is like an anchor. It gives you integrity, it gives you stability, and then you can just, during hard times, you can just hold on to it and just come out of the dark side.
Jar of Words is a writing website, obviously. I was wondering if there is any book that you would like to introduce, or a number of books that have had an effect on you that you could talk us through at all?
Yeah, unfortunately, this past 2 years, I wasn't able to read a lot of books because of obviously workload, but I read a lot of plays and a lot of books on writing and theories and stuff. But now that I have time to read, I wanted to talk about this. Do you know this book by Jennifer McCombie?
Oh, yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
I've just started reading it, and it's just full of. I met her a few weeks ago, and she gave me this book. Actually, I bought it in her book launch a few years ago, but it just sits in my bookshelf. And because most of my books are on Kindle now, I don't buy physical books, but it's just it's a bit maybe not good for a beginner because it's full of folk tales and a lot of stories relating to Uganda culture. So I'm going to finish this by end of this holiday. But I've been reading a bit of this book, which is very fascinating, Explaining Humans by Dr. Camilla Pang. I don't know if you've heard of this. This has won Science Book Prize and is about, so she is autistic, and this book is a guideline to human beings' behavior, because when she was a child, she couldn't understand why people behave in a certain way. And then when she grew up and she studied, she became interested in science. She has a very fascinating biography. And then, so she wrote this book. It's like a memoir, but it's kind of a guidelines to how human beings think, and like for some of the chapters, how to think outside the box. But when you read it, it's kind of is kind of a guideline for people with autism, because it's kind of give you an insight into an autistic person's brain, which is very interesting. And I find kind of similarities between my situation as a kid, when I was like, why are people behaving like this? Or I had so you can focus on certain things and you can be bored easily with other things. And I was like that all the way. Like I was like getting highest mark in school for some lessons. I would get 0 for some others, because I just couldn't be bothered. And I remember my head teacher was like, she was worried about the ranking of school, and she's like, you need to study. I'm like, I don't like this lesson. She's like, no, you need to study, because you're gonna, you need the mark, and then you need to, and I forced myself to read them and pass. But it's kind of interesting, because you may find things that you didn't know about yourself, which is, I guess this book is very fascinating, especially now that autism is on the rise. Maybe we could, it gives us some information about how they think and how their brain works, which is interesting. And it won Science Book Prize 2020. Yeah.
Very good. We don't often hear or get to see a different perspectives. Stick to one type of reading, one type of writing, and you limit your world, you limit yourself. I've recently attended a reading of your recent play, and I very much enjoyed that. Is that anywhere near being done and completed? When do we get to see and hear about it?
God, I don't know. The play is still in development, so yeah, there is a lot of work needs to be done. But I think maybe next year, end of next year, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the sometimes from stage for 2-3 years now, it takes a lot of courage to get back to that kind of creativity, because theater is hard work, and it is difficult to make a show.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh God. But if you have the right support and the right team, and give yourself more time, because making work during COVID is different, has been different, because you can't work with the whole team in a space at one time. But it depends on Corona as well. Venues, a lot of gigs get cancelled, and there is a lot of risk. So I prefer to stay and wait a little bit, and then develop the piece, and then later on maybe end of next year, or maybe 2023.
And I also think when you're writing about something that is not fictional, or is based on real events, or is autobiographical, there is an extra elements that you need to deal with. You need to deal with quite a lot of baggage and emotions that maybe you have managed to push aside and forget. But you have to revisit them, and that takes quite a lot of, sometimes it gets a lot out of you. So yeah, looking forward to get to hear about that project. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us.
Thank you.